King Jedi.
All right, you ready? Hey everybody, welcome to the very first episode of Couchbusters. We are so excited to be here. This is a long time coming. It's been a dream in the works, if you will. I asked Michelle recently for Christmas for a really nice DSLR cameras to kick things off. And here we are with 2 ring lights, a whole setup kind of thing. But we're here. We're actually trying to make this happen. How do you feel?
I feel excited.
Yeah.
Not as nervous. But yeah, I'm glad we're finally doing this because you've been talking about it for a little over a year now.
Yeah. So to give a little bit of a background, I was part of a couple podcasts with some good friends of mine. What were some of the fears that you had coming into this?
Fears?
Yeah.
Fears would be like not being interesting.
Yeah.
Having a podcast that no one listens to. I mean, I guess that doesn't matter that much because I feel like we just do it for ourselves anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if like, I don't know, being a boring person, that's a fear.
That's very true.
Do you have fears?
I mean, I think it's like pretty similar to yours, but like when I think about like all the people on like YouTube Shorts and like TikTok that we like thumb through, half of them are not like interesting. I feel like I listen to more of the AI voiceovers more so than anything. And it's always about like some history, like ancient alien stuff.
I feel like the podcasters that do well though are like, they're outrageous.
Yeah.
Or they have like interesting things to say. So
oh, really?
Yeah.
Like, who do you think, who's like outrageous that
like you listen to Bobby Lee all the time.
Bobby's
I feel like he's
boy,
pretty
dude.
outrageous.
If I Bobby, yeah, he's outrageously funny.
Yeah.
He's a great podcaster for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's one.
On your radar?
I don't want to admit it, but I do listen to the Hot Mess podcast by Alex Earl.
I don't even know what that is.
She's a 22-year-old recent grad from college, but she has like 6 million followers and she just lives a very entertaining life.
Yeah. Okay. Like what does this person do?
Well, she makes content full time, but
yeah,
she does it in a very interesting way. I mean, she like parties a lot. And so she does a really good job of taking us all along for the ride. I mean, it's fun for the people who've watched her. I wasn't even like a super early fan, but like seeing her rise to fame and seeing her like get invited to all these like celebrity things is just like, it's so, you can almost like see the regular person becoming like this famous person, like follow the storyline. So that's very interesting. But was she
like a podcaster or celebrity type of person when you were like watching her when she was like first getting started?
No, I mean she just did TikTok and then she got really famous on TikTok. And then she started podcasts like a few months ago.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Well, what I wanted to start off the podcast was with a question in regards to kind of like our first year of marriage. You know, it's been a year and some change at this point since we've moved to Dallas, gotten married, moved into your grandma's house, moved out of your grandma's house, and like kind of like, you know, had to make friends and all of that.
Yeah.
Right? How do you feel after this journey?
I feel like it was a tiring year, a very like full year. I feel like I experienced a lot of blessings in that our family, you know, gave us, like my parents gave us this house, not gave it to us, but are allowing us to stay in this house rent free.
Yeah.
While they are waiting to sell this house, because they're living with my grandparents. So we have like a really special like blessing and I'm so grateful for that. But that also meant that we lived with my grandparents and parents for about 6 months just to like wait to move into here while the house was being finished. And that in and of itself was just like a huge transition because, you know, I went from living as an adult for almost a decade by myself or with like roommates and stuff, but like not with my parents. And then all of a sudden being like dunked back into this environment where I'm like a daughter again full-time, a granddaughter again full-time, but everyone has aged. And then now I'm a wife too. So I was just like, I don't know how to do any of these things, much less all at once anymore. And so it was like definitely kind of overwhelming at times.
Yeah. Do you still feel overwhelmed kind of juggling all of those identities, or is it just kind of that you've, were able to adopt this new wife identity on top of those and just it like seamlessly juggle them?
I think it does feel overwhelming still at times. And I think that's my goal for 2024 is to like set certain like word boundaries in this sense seems too harsh because it's not really that, but just like, like have like certain expectations that it's okay to like not try to do everything, so much, that it's okay to like maybe do a little bit less for my family if it means that I can like have more time for like our marriage, and like focusing on, growing and deepening our marriage and relationship. So I feel like purposefully trying to like take a step back from my family is very awkward for me because I've been in this mindset of like, I really want to help them as much as possible because they did need a lot of help, especially when my grandpa was like this past year, he declined so much in health. Like he passed away in July and, they had help, but it still required a lot of help from everyone. And like, we're kind of like still in that phase where my grandma does need help too. And I want to find the right balance of all those things,
So 2024 is the year of finding that balance.
Yeah, I think so. And like, just being able to be okay with feeling uncomfortable about taking a step back in some senses. But what's it been like for you, husband?
It's been interesting, lots of highs in terms of, getting to spend life and doing life together with my best friend. But at the same time, my best friend comes with that family that you mentioned. And there's just been a very steep learning curve for me in terms of understanding like how deep family can be. So because the way that your family operates is so different than mine. And the way that I was raised, my dad would just kind of show an outward expression of love through service because he certainly couldn't do it through time because he was always working at the deli. And so that was kind of what I understood family to be. More so have like it's built on a foundation of love, but kind of show it and express it through service in that kind of weird way, right? And so when I came here and then my notion of that family identity or just like understanding a family was so challenged by you guys because you spend time whenever the entire family comes through, you guys literally just spend time with each other and don't do anything else, right? And
we just play all the time.
It's literally just playing and just chilling and just basking in each other's personalities and identities and just the family dynamic all at once. And that's something that was so uncomfortable for me.
Yeah,
it was so foreign to me that I often found myself needing to take a step back,
which is okay too.
But
I mean, it can be very overwhelming if you're not coming from that kind of a family background. And I don't think it's like one is better than the other or one is like right or wrong, but it's just like different, And I think it is hard for someone who's coming into something that like as big as mine, that's not used to it. And like it, I feel like it also took me time to realize that I can't just like expect you to like flip a switch and then like be part of this thing that I want you to be a part of. And like, because even if you're there and if I'm like trying to force you to be there, it's not like you're going to be able to be yourself fully or like enjoy it. I want you to feel comfortable, not uncomfortable.
Yeah, which is why I think I struggled so much and I felt like I couldn't be myself because I felt like I was trying to learn what a family meant through your eyes. And so like because I was assuming that like learner identity, I kind of stepped back from being who I really am and just integrating naturally myself, and so like over the holidays even like I would often find myself just kind of reserved where I'm just not really a reserved person to begin with. Not. So it was very weird for me and I like often like had those conversations with myself. It's like, why can't you just be yourself around these people, and like you were always like, yeah, I'm sure my family would love you if you were just yourself, but I was just like, I feel like I kind of can't in a weird way.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah, well, thanks for validating how weird.
Well, I mean, I'm saying that I get that would be very frustrating for you. And I don't even know like what the right, or like how to help you get out of that, other than like, I feel like you did kind of show a little bit of more of your personality like this recent holiday
Yeah,
time
I think
around.
so. Yeah.
And honestly, that was like the most fun I saw you have with my family, like just genuinely, you know, and like you felt relaxed to me. And so it's interesting that you take on this like learner observer role, because I don't know, like why do you think you do that when you came into this environment rather than just like integrating? I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think my family also didn't really understand it either. And unfortunately, they haven't seen a lot of like your other side, maybe a little bit more recently. But yeah, do you think you are starting to reconcile some of those like challenges that you find between like how you think about your family versus like my family, or and things
I
like
think
that?
so. I think so. And I think what helps definitely is one of the reasons why we're doing this podcast.
Hmm.
You know, us having conversations
Yeah.
just naturally. You know, those late night deep conversations about like our identities, how we feel about family, how we want to structure a family together in the future. All of those have been like fundamentally challenging me in a way that I think at the time I felt very uncomfortable
Mm-hmm.
dealing with. But now, in kind of retrospect, I understand that it was very, very good for me.
Mm.
And so, like, I do want to continue having those conversations, and I 100% will like be uncomfortable with them at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that, like, when I look back and be like, oh, dude, I was being stupid. Like, the world is so much bigger.
Mm.
Like, you know,
Do you mean those conversations with me or like others?
I think you specifically because you're the closest. I'm the closest to you,
Yeah.
and like it's very easy to have these conversations. But just in general,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like because like one of my New Year's resolutions this year is to get help, like
Mm-hmm.
mentally, right?
Get
And so
help.
I need help. I do
No,
need
I'm
help.
saying, or BetterHelp is the one
Better
that
help.
sponsors all the
Yeah,
podcasts.
that's true. Yeah, better help if you're listening. But it's one of those things that I have come to terms with more so like recently,
Yeah.
in terms of how bad it can be for
Hmm.
me.
Hmm.
Um, in high school, for context, like I did see for a brief stint a psychologist and a therapist, but that didn't really go well. And so since then, I've like kind of been wrestling, not wrestling, but just having like little episodes of
Mm-hmm.
depression. And I didn't like, I kind of like brushed it off for a lot of the time. But last year in particular, with the stress of moving into like a new state with no friends and into like a different kind of family environment,
Mm-hmm.
into a different kind of work environment, it really broke me multiple times. And you saw it.
Yeah.
And so this year, my resolution is just to find that kind of happiness through therapy.
Right.
And so I don't know, it like makes me feel weird kind of like saying that so much because I've been saying that to all of our friends and whatnot.
Yeah.
But like it still makes me feel a little weird.
In what way? What makes you feel weird about that?
I it just makes me realize just how broken I am.
Hmm.
And so coming to terms, because like in all other facets of life, I feel like I can do something to kind of work towards a goal. But for depression and just like mental stability, I can't see myself making progress because when I relapse, it's like I never made progress in the first place. Right. And I like told you this before, but like when I get into like my down states, it's like I'm getting dropped into a body of water,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know, I have no control over what body of water it is, be it a pond, a lake, or an ocean. And I have no idea how far into the water I'll
Mm.
be, right?
Yeah.
Like if it's the ocean, like there's a difference between being like dropped by the shore and dropped into like the middle of the Pacific where it's like bumblefuck, you're fucked.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that's how I feel sometimes.
Yeah.
That's actually how I feel. So it's just like, so, you know, I would want to get that help this year to kind of, even in the midst of those storms, be able to be kind of happy or find happiness.
Or yeah, and then maybe I think like having a therapist will give you like an anchor or like an outlet, you know, where you can like feel safe, and once you find that person that you're comfortable with, you know,
Yeah.
and feel like you can trust them. Like
Yeah.
have a safe environment where you can like really let all these things out, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because, and you know, I try to help you and be there for you, but I'm not like a professional. So as much as I've been interested in psychology, I don't think I can like nurse you back to health from like your depression or episodes of depression, you know.
I mean, you get pretty good advice though, like from like a health perspective for sure.
Health
You're
perspective.
always like, oh, I mean, at least for like diet and stuff. You're like, babe, you gotta eat vitamin C and vitamin B. It's good for the sun. I mean, not for the sun, but you know what I mean.
It's good for the sun.
Yeah. But it's like that's basically like I guess like how,
Yeah.
you know, you just like know a lot of stuff about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested in that stuff and like living healthy and like mentally, physically, like spiritually, all of that.
Yeah. That's what I admire about you. Like I think like one of the things that attracted to me besides like us like being like really good friends was your like this kind of calm mental fortitude you seemingly had in the beginning.
Seemingly had in the beginning.
I learned later on that like you can be
that
like
I'm
super,
unstable.
No, not unstable.
Am I unhinged?
Your words, not mine. Yeah, but like you know what I mean. Like
That's
you
so
just
funny.
seemed like this a woman that like kind of had it together, you know.
And then I
realized, yeah, I was trapped. Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. All right, so what's one thing on this topic that you've learned about me in this past year and a half of marriage that you don't like?
On this topic of like
just like
mental health?
No.
Oh.
Just like in general, like what's one thing that you've learned about me in this past year and a half that you're like, kind of sucks?
Well, where do I start?
Oh, damn. The floor is yours, I guess.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, literally you leave your socks everywhere, so I don't like that.
That is like I don't find any fault in that. That is like I feel like a guy thing. Like
I don't know. I don't think so.
When we were home, there were my dad's socks everywhere.
No, those were your socks, babe. Those were your socks.
No, they were
They were your socks.
There was no way.
Anyways.
Okay.
I knew that you were like obsessed with working and that you did like a lot of freelance jobs. And actually it's funny because that's like one of the things I admired about you too, is that you're like so passionate about what you do. And like that was like a lot of like design and web development and like like doing things for like good causes, like the nonprofits that you work with. So I really like that, but I think you are a little extreme in how many projects you take on and like how deep you like to get into these things. So
bro, I'm just building for the future.
I get it, babe. Yeah. And but my future self appreciates it.
I do understand what you're saying because I can get sucked in. I get tunnel vision for sure, especially with projects that I'm passionate about.
Yeah, and I think there's just like not a lot of balance in that area. And so when that happens, I mean, we've talked about it. Yeah. Like, I think I feel like our relationship isn't prioritized or like other things get like put on my plate as bigger burdens, you know, so that doesn't make me happy.
Very nice. Tell me how you really feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very nice. Well, is it my turn?
I guess so. Lay it on me.
Well, I knew that you had time management issues. Even before we got married, right?
Yeah.
Like there were times I'd be like, babe, I'm going to be there at 5:30, pick you up on the dot. And you would show up, you know, like full makeup, looking beautiful, 5:50. You know, so I was like,
no, not that late.
Huh? 5:45. My bad. Okay. Yeah, like but that would happen like multiple times. Yeah. And then in the back of my head, I was like, well, we're going to fix that. We're going to like, you know, when we get married, it's not going to happen like that. And especially when we're moving down here with her parents, like there's no way she's going to be like a lot better. Nope. I have to now make dinner reservations, right? Like I'll make a dinner reservation at 7 p.m., but I'll tell her 6:30 on the dot, no later than. And we get there right on time, if not 5 minutes late.
And I'm like crazy. Stressed that we're running super late.
Yeah, but now that she knows that, the funny thing is I have to like do it every other time.
Yeah, it can't be
Yeah.
consistent.
Yeah. So sometimes it'll be like
But you know,
actually
I'm
7 o'clock.
trying. I'm trying. You know, it's only
Okay.
been a few weeks into the new year, but
Yeah.
that's a goal of mine in 2024, as it has been for many years now.
So if you know that this is something that kind of bothers me, and that's something that
You know,
you've been
I
actively working on.
I don't know how to fix it. I really don't. And I've looked up YouTube videos and
You have?
yes, I've tried. Like, I don't think you understand that it bothers me too, and I don't understand why I can't be on time and like be faster. And I feel like I have like times in my life, very brief, where I'm like a little bit better at this, but then like inevitably like it goes back and I just don't know what it is. And I've researched, sometimes it's ADHD,
Yeah.
sometimes there's this thing called time blindness.
Time blindness?
I don't know if it's a thing that people like me made up to make themselves feel better about it.
You straight up made that up. I've never heard.
I watched a TED Talk about it too.
By who?
I don't know.
You straight up made this up. Time blindness?
No, someone fact checked me.
Someone fact checked you?
No, someone. I'm saying like I wish we had a person like looking up on the laptop on the side.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But yeah, no.
Time blindness. Okay. Well, you know, the first step to making progress is admitting you have a problem. So
I mean, I've known this was a problem for a while. So
yeah.
I don't know how to fix it, but I want to.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it. And cheers to that. Why don't you grab your wine glass over there?
Cheers.
Cheers.
What's one of your 2024 New Year's resolutions?
Well,
besides getting help,
I really do want to work on finding that balance in my life. Because like you said, I do a lot of projects, side projects. And in my head, it is for our future.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's kind of what I'm telling myself. I think what it really boils down to is the fear of not being successful.
Mm.
And I really do think that a lot of people our age, millennials, struggle the hell out of this, you know, like with this. And it's because like everywhere you turn to on social media, let's use LinkedIn, for example, right? You go on LinkedIn and people are like, yo, I'm a VP. Yo,
Yeah.
My team and I went on vacation. I'm like, then this is like could be like years ago when I saw stuff like that. I'd be like, you have a team?
Yeah.
Bro, like, what are you doing? Like, how did you do that? Right. And it's only gotten worse since then. Now that we're in our 30s, people are like popping.
I feel like LinkedIn, though, it has become this weird like social media platform.
Yeah, well, that's what it's always kind of been.
Well,
It's been,
it was like a
skinned
professional
as a
network.
professional
But now they
right?
have like their own like versions of stories and stuff, don't they?
Do they really?
I don't know. I
Damn,
haven't been
you
on
would
it in a
know better.
while.
I actually don't know. But like even beyond LinkedIn, any kind of social media platform, I feel like has this like, if you scroll long enough, you're going to be kind of feeling left behind in a weird way.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think for me, I took it to a very extreme, and I just constantly kind of feel like that. And that's actually one of the reasons why I don't have Instagram right now, is because Instagram was one of those places where I would feel consistently challenged to be better, right? I would be in this weird place where I would see people on vacations when I was working and I'd be like, what did you do? How did you do that? Like, and they'd be like on vacation constantly and be like, look at me, dude, I'm living my life. I'm be like, the hell, how'd you do that, man? Like, how did you get there? Right. And so like, I feel like, yeah, that's kind of what I want to work on is be okay with what I have and don't overburden myself, because it's detrimental not only to me, but also to our relationship. So.
And you're going to make yourself sick by working like crazy like you do.
Yeah. I don't want to be sick. I've gotten sick so much this past
Maybe
year.
that's correlated. You have gotten so much like sick so many times.
Yeah, it could be. It actually could be.
Oh my gosh, that's it.
What, light bulb moment?
Yeah, like I feel like like your immune system sucks. Like I don't want to pass this on to our children. So like, you need to fix it right
Junior, now. You're gonna get sick like 3 times a year.
No. So I think you're just like overworking yourself because you literally, I don't know, how many hours a week do you think you work?
I don't know.
You work your full-time job, which is like at the minimum 40 hours a week.
That's right. Yeah.
And then you do like your one really big side gig, Autobound, which is like 15 hours a week at least.
At least, yeah.
Yeah, at least. And then you have like other mini things that pop up, which can vary from like 5 to 10. I don't know, 5 hours a week?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Less. I don't know.
It is a lot. So what I'm trying to say is I definitely want to find that balance for sure. And you're going to help me find that balance and keep my immune system pumped up at least with all the healthy foods. Because we're about to try Whole30, right?
As we drink this alcohol.
It's part of Whole30. It's Whole30.
Whole30 with alcohol.
Yeah, it's Whole30 with alcohol. Whole30 with benefits. Yeah, why not, right?
Well, do you have a bucket list? Like one bucket list thing that you want to do for 2024?
One bucket list thing that I want to do for 2024.
Besides this podcast.
Yeah, but besides this podcast, I want to go on one last epic adventure with you. And what's my definition of epic, you say? I'm glad you asked. Well, it's definitely like a a trip abroad, right? And beautiful views, mountains preferably, because I'm obsessed with mountains. And like,
I want to go on a hot air balloon.
What? Why is that? Is that your bucket list item?
Maybe. Wait.
Really?
You don't want to go on a hot air balloon?
No. So like,
what?
I'm an adrenaline junkie, and so like hot air balloons.
Well, I am too, but it doesn't sound cool.
No, not really. Why does that sound cool to you?
You're up in the sky in a giant balloon.
Yeah, that's true.
You're floating in the world. You get to see everything below you and like the beautiful scenery around you.
It's true. It's true. I feel like planes do that too. And also skydiving kind of does that.
Skydiving, you're done in like 10 seconds.
Yeah, but then you get to experience life. Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Maybe that's we'll add that to my epic adventure. To our epic adventure. And the hot air balloon?
Huh? Hot air balloon too?
I don't know. If we have time, like after like all the massages we're going to get. And
what about hot air balloon massage?
Hot air balloon massage with a glass of wine.
Yeah.
With a sommelier explaining the wines to us.
This is an epic adventure.
That is an epic adventure. Cheers to that. We'll make it happen, Kevin. All right. So the final segment that we want to do for pretty much every episode from here on out is play a little game called Let's Get Deep. Something that I found on Amazon a few months ago. And we played it once with our friends. We'll play like a shorter version of it. So what we'll do is just pick up 2 cards each, right? And you get to choose which of the 2 that you'd like to ask me. If you guys want to check it out, it's on Amazon for, I think, it's like $13 or something like that. So, all right. So take a look at your cards right now.
So do I ask this to you?
You ask it to me.
So I pick one of these 2.
Just pick one of them. Yep.
One says make and post a TikTok together.
Make and post a TikTok together? What kind of TikTok are we trying to do? I don't know.
Anything. Could be anything.
Maybe. But if it's one of those like dancing ones, I'm in. Just kidding. All right. I won't drink to that because I don't know what that is just yet. But maybe we'll follow up and, show it in a future episode. Here's one I want to learn about you. What's a valuable lesson you've learned from the previous generation?
Ooh, the previous generation.
Yeah.
Like my parents.
Could also be your grandparents or...
Oh, I thought it meant like the one.
Direct previous? Yeah. No.
There are too many lessons. I have to think about this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or you could just drink. If it's not something that you're comfortable sharing.
No, it's not that. I feel like there's just too many valuable lessons that I've learned, but...
We learned tonight that it's really good idea to put olives into white cream pasta from your grandma.
I guess so.
That's a good lesson, man. I never even thought about that. Yeah. One of the olive pits like almost cracked my tooth.
She told you not to be careful.
Yeah. But I was just like, yeah, whatever. And then I put it in my mouth and it almost cracked my tooth. And I was like, ooh. That's pretty good.
I don't know. I'm gonna drink because I'll come back to it, but I'm gonna drink for now. There you
go. Yeah. There you have it. Well, thank you so much all for joining us on our first
Oh,
episode.
that was the end of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully you guys, found some at least entertainment value out of all of this. We'll be back next week with a guest or
Next
guests.
week?
Or not next week. I don't know when we're going to try to do this. I think we should try to be consistent, but maybe next week is a little too aggressive. We'll see you guys next time with a couple friends, a couple guests. But until then, take care, stay safe.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for watching us.
Bye.